中车了北木宝宝。
Okay, nhớ rong cho linh cho tu, ở trong đó mấy chị tôi còn biết món nó, rong sát tại mấy cho linh cho tu nữa. Đợt nó của Jennifer Hyung, của họ lựa tờ Lumon Center do ilu công học của bank bên mong cái nó cái ô, hai bank bên mong chỉ cái vàng mình cho yang tận đấy, bên tu bị chỉ là lu trong ở bằng cầu lu rồi, để rong sát chỉ mấy món ăn gì nữa. Mà nó bây giờ mà áp dụng của bây giờ chef là giờ bây cho nên cho từ giờ thay qua mà nữa để bây rong sa tại bây lúc tôi thay bây lúc virtual event nếu nó bây giờ hà lúc mong hà mình cả để thọ rằng lúc chỉ cho bây giờ tại bây hà chẳng chỉ có chỉ thứ nữa mà nó bây giờ mà áp dụng cái loại cái loại để mình thọ mình chụp bây nhớ thọ cái hơn chỉ cho tại một bữa ha nhóm chụp bây một cái loại chụp bây họ giờ tại mình mua luôn nó để mình cho一個 comment cho tại Facebook 或 YouTube 呢để bên mà le buồn tại bên lu computer nó thì giờ tại thuật số lúc tại lỡ để bên mà le share your questions để bên mà le cho mình xem nè, okay mà nó bây giờ share với yo thằng chú bên mong cái nó ha bên mong cái nó nữ bang khởi bên để mong cái cứ lấy chán á để nó ổn định bây giờ một bảo mong cho bây giờ chefs là giờ bây giờ moderator vậy ya bây giờ cho ý rằng video who learning the Hmong way tại đó ta bây giờ bây bằng bây học bây giờ cho nên bây giờ bây từ thơ như Hlub Hmong Center nó như to dù bây nó ít pro mong mỏ sẽ dùng chẳng như ha bây từ point you is no minus ở từ nó mỏ nga cho nên nga bộ hào như rong rô ha bộ nó mỏ ha bộ nó chỉ là bộ hào bộ róc rô để bộ mà lại cà phê đã căng chẳng nữa, okay để nếu nó bây giờ cho lại rằng video họ để mấy thọ in nhật để bây mà lại thọ tất cả bây giờ tại vì nó tăng thì bây mà lại một bảo một cho Jerry ha cho bây giờ chefs nữa, okay để thọ nhật bây giờ có video ổn định nữa, okay.
My name is Senda, and I've been with Hlub Hmong Center for about 2.5 months to 3 months. And today we have Ismail and Steve here to sample some of my Hmong cooking. Yay. And I hope you guys will enjoy it. It's a common and popular dish that we cook.
What do we have?
We have here greens. So boiled greens, boiled greens with pork bones.
Boiled greens with pork bones, yummy.
And we have pumpkin, we call it pumpkin soup, but I don't think that's probably the best way to describe it. But it's really just pumpkin boiled in water.
Pumpkin soup?
Yes.
Awesome.
So, what are the Hmong names?
The Hmong names, so the pumpkin soup, we could call it tao hao, guo tao for pumpkin soup. Guo tao. So tao is the pumpkin, okay. And then guo tao meaning pumpkin soup.
Oh.
Yeah. And then this here we call it zhang zhuo hao zhong gan bo. Zhang zhuo hao zhong gan bo. So it's literally greens boiled with pork. Yes.
Wow. And it smells, just so people get this, it smells very kind of full and hearty. You can smell the meat, you can smell the greens. Does it matter where we start?
Nope, it doesn't matter. Oh, we have pepper here. I just want to
mention that.
So the pepper is, you can use your hands. Normally you pick your meat with your hands and then you dip it in the sauce.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes. Or you could use your fork.
And what kind of pepper? Just chili pepper?
Yep. Thai red chili pepper mixed with fish sauce, lemon, salt, sugar, and a little bit of Sichuan peppercorns.
Oh,
So
wow.
you'll experience a slightly different taste because it has that Sichuan peppercorn.
Yummy.
Yes. So dive in.
Yay, well, that's
Bring it closer to
exciting.
you.
Let's do this.
Ooh, it is tasty. Perfect. Not too salty, but not, has a flavor. And so what do you put in the broth?
Just salt.
Just
Salt, and I added a little bit of lemongrass.
Okay.
Traditionally, this dish doesn't have lemongrass in it, but I've learned over the years that I like a touch of lemongrass. And what it does for me,
Just
the
a little bit,
lemongrass,
huh?
it helps to clear the broth. So it makes the broth a little bit more clear, and I prefer a more clear broth.
Oh my goodness.
However, traditionally it's made with fat and bones and different parts of pork.
Pork.
Yeah, different parts.
What do you use for pork? Because it's a combination. It looks like it'd be what it's not pork chops. Is it pork chops, or what do you do for pork?
This kind of cut you can get at the Hmong store.
Okay.
So
It's
they
not a pork chop though. It's a little bit different.
yes. So
More meat. There's more meat on it.
Yes, there is. There's more meat on it, so you get the pork bone broth, right?
Wow.
Plus you get a little bit of the meat. Yep.
The flavor is good. Definitely dipping it into the chili. Wow.
Yeah.
It's not too spicy.
Oh good. Oh good. What do you think, Ismail?
Definitely remind me of something that in the Mexican cuisine we call the caldo, which is soup or stew.
Oh yes.
And it definitely reminds me of growing up having that dish, and so it's wonderful to see the similarities. I think that's always an important thing when we're getting to know new cultures and new experiences to make a connection. You can always make a connection, but
Through food, right?
through food.
Yeah.
The emphasis on this,
The pepper.
the pepper is really, really a lot of those flavors. Yes, at once. So it's really wonderful.
Yeah. Normally the stews that we make in the Greek culture,
Yeah.
they don't add the spiciness separately. And that is something I'm not used to. We do a lot of meat broths, especially with the bone. This is really good pork though. There's no aftertaste. It's however it was.
Yeah.
So save what's it called?
I believe it's
Save more.
Save More.
Save more down on Main Street.
Save More, yeah. How about you, Ismail? What do you think? How are the vegetables for you?
The vegetables are delicious. They're really well cut, and man, I think they're flavorful and just. Just one more thing about the pork. The pork is very tender.
It is. Yeah.
Typically, my experience with
Right.
with
More
cooking,
chewy. This is perfect.
with cooking pork has been that it turns out very chewy and hard to. But this is just really tender.
Now, what should we do with the pumpkin?
So
do we eat it afterward or same time?
During, while you're eating.
Same time.
While you're eating, so it just helps.
Pumpkin
It helps
soup.
to yes, please take it. It helps to digestion. Okay,
Oh,
so while
okay.
you're eating, it helps with digestion. It helps to clear your throat.
Wow.
And then the pumpkin adds a little bit of different texture.
So
If you don't want to eat a
pumpkin.
lot of rice, because rice has a lot of carbs, you can substitute with the pumpkin.
That is great. Not too sweet,
Yeah.
but definitely has a sweetness.
Yes, and it's a natural sweetness too. No
You didn't add any sugar. You
nothing.
did. Wow.
Oh wow, yeah. There's
Oh my
definitely a
goodness.
sweetness
Yep, very
to it.
But right, kind of makes your mouth a little more mellow
Yes.
flavor.
So the pumpkin is homegrown. I grew it myself.
Oh wow, homegrown
Oh
pumpkin.
my goodness. I was gonna
So,
say
yeah.
fresh.
Yes.
So is this the type of pumpkin
Wow.
like just the regular orange pumpkins that you see,
Oh.
or is there a special kind of pumpkin?
You know what? I wish I would have brought it because I have several at home. But it's not like a pumpkin like how you carve pumpkin.
Yeah, oh, okay.
It's not like that at all. It's more,
What color?
green,
It's green.
yellow. When it's mature, it has a hard covering. And they range in color from like peach to green.
Definitely tasty. I can't remember if I've ever had a pumpkin soup of any type. I've had pumpkin flour soup.
Oh.
But never. I don't think I've ever ate the pumpkin.
The thing with the pumpkin too is normally when we have American pumpkin in the soup, they mush it all up. You know, whereas the pumpkin is its own slices in water.
Yes.
You know, it's not all mushed.
Yes. And the pumpkin soup is actually eaten on a daily basis with every meal.
Oh, wow.
Really?
So if you live with elders, this is something you've got to cook every single meal.
Wow, that's healthy.
It is. What I've learned through my studies with Dr. Ku Yang.
Oh yeah, Dr. Ku.
Yeah. He says that our diet, well, so we live in Southeast Asia, but we're also scattered around the world, right? In China, Australia, South America, and here in America and Canada. But he says that like our diet is more like the Southern Chinese diet.
Huh.
Yeah. Southern Chinese. We eat more tofu based. We eat tofu, corn and soups. The Southeast Asian diet is more like the Laotian diet, sticky rice, and so
you're more South Chinese.
Yes. So yes, and particularly Southern Chinese because we also enjoy spice too.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I can see that.
Yeah. So I learned that. I thought, that's interesting because we say that we're Southeast Asian.
But it's
Yeah.
But the origins and the food are more closer to Southern Chinese.
Yes, Southern Chinese.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but we've been in Southeast Asia for over 200 years, right? So we adapt.
Everything changes.
Yeah. Yes.
What do your kids think of do they like this meal? Or
they love it.
Yeah.
They love both of these dishes. They will ask for it every now and then. They love the vegetables. They love the pumpkin. They love the soup. For both of them. It's something I've always fed them growing up because I grew up with it. And to me, it's comfort food. It's soul food. It does remind me of my childhood growing up with my parents. And typically when we have like large Hmong feast, right? This is also a common dish. So you just end up making like a whole pot full.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I feel so lucky.
Yes.
Awesome.
I finished it all up. And
this is an incredible
and
meal.
your water too.
This is an incredible meal.
Okay, Ocho Senda, thank you so much for providing that meal for Steve Russo's and also for Ismail. They looked like they enjoyed it a lot. This was their first time eating this meal. So they got to learn how the Hmong way of eating is for the first time. So thank you so much for all that you do for Lumon Center. Really appreciate it. Okay, tashinote kuyo mo pao mucho Jerry na Jerry yo bitu moderator mono new yo cho be lushi hano lunong cho chef kunju be mono no apikalu tupo luning tupo tuke ohalu ha tu be mong penguina. Hi Jerry.
Nyajong. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday night to everyone, okay? Welcome to call section. My name is Jerry Yang, and I am also a restaurant owner. My restaurant is called Shobu Japanese Cuisine, located in Fresno, California. I am very thankful to be invited by Hmong Center to be the moderator tonight. So the purpose of this session is to have a chit chat with two of our Hmong chefs. One of them is Chef Genevieve from the Motor City, no other than Detroit, Michigan. And the other one is from St. Paul, Minnesota, where most of our Hmong people reside. and his name is Chef Ye. So I am very excited to be talking to them. And I encourage all of you to write some comments, some questions. Let's explore together what they think, what their views are in terms of Hmong food, Hmong dishes, and maybe their passion and their views on the future of Hmong food. So without any further delay, I will bring them on board. Welcome, Chef Ye, Chef Genevieve. How are you guys doing?
We do okay. How are you?
Nhớ rằng tàu này trong xe tàu nay chỉ mua lúc xe là cộng cho bé món nào thì tôi cho căn gia cho bé cho này cho xe cho cứ cho đi cho nên cho phong như sở đời nhớ thông can đôi này tàu là cho bé cộng cho món nào có nói họ có mong rong hiện cho bé sở đời nữa cho nên là我把我的内容auto chef 是อย่างที่กูที่but 我ไม่อยากคุยจุดสั้นนู้นI guess the first question 俾咗 viewers 包上的內容呢面試咗係啲when did you know you wanted to become a chef? And let's start with Chef Ye first, and then we'll move on to Chef Genevieve.
Hey guys.
So first of all, before we do that, take a minute to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your yourself and maybe where your restaurant is, your current occupation, and we'll go from there. Okay?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me? I was having issues with my mic earlier, so. Yeah, so I live here in, actually, I moved to Minneapolis. So, yeah, we have a little restaurant called Union Hmong Kitchen. And so we started out like 5 years ago. We started out as a pop-up restaurant for a little bit. And now we're kind of in this real small kitchen, because of the pandemic, we're just focusing on takeout food. And so we're just doing a lot of takeout and everything. Yeah, and while we're doing that, this last year and a half has been getting things together, getting money together, working with different designers and architects to build out our first brick and mortar restaurant. So right now it's called Vang. So we're getting ready to build that out. And that's just been a lot. It's just been a lot of just up and down with the pandemic. Yeah, and to answer Jerry's question, when did I know I wanted to become a chef? I'll be very honest with people. I never wanted to do this. I told other media outlets that growing up, my parents didn't want me to cook in restaurants because they know how hard it would be, and so they were always very adamant on education. And so it was like when you're done with high school, you're going to go to college, you're going to get your bachelor's and work on your master's. It's just like most Hmong parents, and so I only cooked because it was an easy job to do that you can make like $10 an hour, and so it helped in college. And this is what I tell people. I said that to me, like my experience with the restaurant world, it's like having that girlfriend that you date for a little bit, but you break up, and then you date again, and you come back, and then you break up, and you keep doing that. Well, I did that with the restaurant world for like 15 years. And then after 15 years, I'm like, man, we know each other so well. Why don't we just, why don't you just make this commitment, And it wasn't like when I was cooking, I wanted to stay away from any kind of Asian food, even like Hmong food, especially Hmong food, because at that time nobody knew what Hmong food was. So I wanted to stay away from. So I trained in different areas like French food, Italian. I really love like Tex-Mex barbecue. So I went. These are the restaurants I worked in, and then.
Okay, we don't want you to share too much because we still have a lot to ask you later.
Oh yeah. So yeah,
But thank you so much for your time. Okay. All right. With that said, Chef Genevieve, a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I actually I came from France, and it's just come to United States 33 years ago. It was very hard for me. So basically, I grew up in the Hmong food, and be a Hmong woman, you have to know how to cook. So cooking, I can pick very easy, and it was very hard for me. Came to this country and want to be a chef. I didn't think about I don't know how to be a chef. The only thing is a survivor, right? Have a job and buy maybe 2 or 3 gallon milk to the kids. That's all in my mind. Yes.
Okay.
And yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Okay. So the first question, we start knowing the law luti na Johnny. It's getting chatted to phone you now. Okay. We start the picture of you dream game both one the beluning we are right. The go to Kenya. The reason I became a chef and a restaurant owner because to make long story short, I was in the camp in Thailand and I was always hungry. So one day, some buddies of mine, we went to this little cafe in the camp and I was watching people eating pho. And as a little kid, I wanted pho so bad. And I was thinking to myself, wow, wouldn't it be so nice someday if I can own my own restaurant, with the idea of eating whenever I want, whatever I want, nobody has to tell me what to do. So, save them engineer restaurant. So it was a way to fulfill my childhood dream. So my question to both of you is, when did you know you wanted to become a chef? Start with Chef Genevieve.
I just know 2 years and a half. I've been here for 33 years, and I just know only for 2 years and a half when I opened Bangkok street food in Detroit.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a chef there. It's just a little bit. Not until 2018 when I opened that little place. Either Detroit honored me to be the best chef from either Detroit. Wow. And I have no idea what is either. I walk around, people just say, "Hey, everybody voting for you," and I don't get it. I just don't know. and everybody say, "Hey, they're voting for you tonight. You should go check." And I go check, and I say, "Oh my God."
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, and I was way behind, and I start do my campaign. You see how it's important be an entrepreneur. You have to prepare, have your whole network. And I start campaign by just linking to all my friends to support
me. Basically, you discovered that you wanted to be a chef in 2018, which is pretty recent.
Yeah, it's new.
Wow.
And I don't feel like I'm a chef. Yeah, and even now I don't feel like I'm a chef out there. I just felt like I'm a cool grandma. Still like to cook.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes,
thank you. Okay, Chef Yang, what about you?
Yeah, so for me, like I said before, I didn't really want to do this, but it was after I worked at this really nice French restaurant. Well, I was working there.
When was that?
It's like 6 years ago. I was working at all these different restaurants. Yeah, and I was, I didn't want to do Asian food or Hmong food at all because I just felt like it was something that like not a lot of people knew. And I think that as a young person growing up, like especially in college, it's like you just someone, because being Hmong sometimes you someone because like a lot of people kept asking like, dude, like what is Hmong? Like who are Hmong people? And I think that you run so far from who you are that you actually run in a circle and you run back to who you are. And so I found that what like revived my soul, what made my heart just enjoy and explode with excitement is when I sit at a table and and like my dad's duck Hlub, or just the stuff that they were eating before. Like when I would eat that, I would connect so much with my mom and dad. And then I truly believe, and I tell this to people, that every dish has a narrative, every dish has a story, and you follow that story long enough and close enough, you get to the people behind the food. And once you're there, it's not about food, it's about people. That food is a catalyst to cultivating relationship with people. And when I start following these stories, right, of my mom and dad, of all this food, I get back to my mom and dad's story. And that's what excited me. And so like 5 years ago, we said, hey, we're going to make Hmong food and we're not going to call it anything else. I hate the word fusion. Like, so I'm like, it's not American fusion food. It's Hmong food. and we're going to use this to tell the story of my mom and dad, tell their story, their journey, and how they got here. And I tell people, it's their story, it's their food. I'm just the curator of it.
Very good, very good. All right, okay. So again, your viewers now, okay? Our viewers, please feel free to post your questions, and we're gonna do our best to have auto chef answer your question, okay? So next question to Tony Olingzi. Obviously, what actually be more passion. You know, we gotta have this desire, you know, to really pursue what we want to do. So my question to both of you is, what do you do? What do you love most about cooking? And we don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna need you guys to be very brief on your response. Okay, what's in the data? Chef Genevieve, why don't you start first?
Yeah. Well, I think the food is related to migration also. I think that's the fact that I live in France for a long time. And in Europe, you have, different kind of cuisine, from South African, Moroccan, Spain, Middle East cuisine is very popular. And I love it, and especially French cuisine. And it came to the United States, that's even better because the food is everywhere and it is cheap. So it's so interesting. I'm a foodie, yeah. And I think I just have the love, have the DNA with a food to create something new. But I have to have, stick to the same culture, not have to be disciplined what you create a new dish. You can take a Hmong food and make a little bit dress up, make up a little bit better, So I think the green soup, vegetable with pork neck, that's our icon. And we cook every day, and that can dress to be a little bit more appealing.
Yeah.
Appealing.
So you're right. It's a matter of would you more work or presentation, the taste
exactly.
is better, right?
Yeah.
Even though you boil like more easier, you can still improve from there, right?
Exactly. And that's why my career, I have not just cooking, but I have to ask question what I should training, know a little bit about cooking, like vegetable carving, like a tea, how to make tea, understand where it come from and how you make tea from there. I have to learn training for American barbecue and a Chinese barbecue. I have to go back to learn Chinese cooking because it's different than Thai cooking too. And sushi also, and I learned those. I don't use it because I just want to understand what each culture, what they use, where is the best come from. And it's a passion, it's a passion, it's endless. Yeah, it's endless.
Okay. Okay, Xavier. Okay,
I think
so
for
what do
me,
you like most about cooking?
Yeah, I think for me, like I said before, it's just telling the story of my mom and dad and telling them about their diligence, the hard work they put in. For example, so when we were kids, and my mom would make this like basically it's like a noodle dish. Super simple, right? It's just she goes in the fridge, she finds all the vegetables and then she mixes it up with a little bit of like half a pound of like ground pork or whatever, and she makes this noodle dish. And we growing up, I didn't really like it because it was like, man, and so I took that concept and we have this noodle dish that we do, and it is the #1 seller for us. But like if I told people where it came from, people will be kind of like I told my mom like this is like the #1 seller. We try to take it off the menu and people are like no, we want that back, right? And one of the things I realized was that dish when I was a kid, I didn't like it, but then I understood what that dish means. That dish is about my mom, hard work, and her diligence to make sure that as the kids, we were never hungry. So when growing up, I never felt that we were poor or we had less because my mom and dad made sure we were always fed. And that's very important. They protected us from from that pain of feeling that we're less than the kids at school. And they took that pain and they made sure that we were always fed. Even it meant that they had to figure out something. So when Toku, think about that bangkok dish, that noodle dish. When I make that dish, or when my cooks make that dish and they do it wrong, like it hurts me, right? Inside it hurts. Where it's like, no, you guys don't understand the importance of this dish. And then many times I have conversations with my cooks where I'm like, this isn't just a dish that it's like one of our favorite dishes. This is actually something that's like it's a soul-giving dish from my mom, and we have to get it right every time.
Okay.
Not for my reputation, but for her legacy.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Why did I open a Japanese restaurant from Sandra Vang? I think she's from Minnesota. I'm gonna save that question and we'll respond that later. Okay. Okay. My next question to Tone, your idea. I'm gonna skip a couple of questions. Not all that we're running out of time. I know. What is your favorite Hmong dish?
Chef Ye first.
Chef Ye, let's start with you.
Oh man. Okay, so this is like this is the reason why it's my favorite. So it's it's basically it's my dad and my mom, they use pig's feet in it, right? And they use pork neck. And my mom, and I get a little emotional about this dish because my mom and dad, what they would do is they will take all the meat off of the bones, right? And then when I go home for lunch, or I eat lunch at their house, my mom and dad, when we were kids, they would take up all the meat and make sure that and they would eat the bones. That's all they would eat, because they want to make sure we had the best. But my favorite part is the bones, because I feel that I really connect with them. And even I'm 36, right? I'm 36 years old, and when I go home and I eat with them, they still do that. They still take all the off, and more and then and that, like, man, like when I was 16, they did that. When I was a kid, they did that. And when I'm 36, they're still doing that. They're still making sure that we have the best.
Wow.
And no matter how, like, when I eat that dish, it's just not, like, that's not that to me. It is deeper than that. It is my mom and my dad saying, we want you to have the best. We will sacrifice ourselves so that you can have the best. And today, the other day, I'm like, Mom, like, my mom and still, no matter how old I am, they're still looking out for me. And
awesome.
So for me, it's one of my favorite dishes.
What a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing that. By the way, that's my favorite bowl too, bro. All right, Chef Genevieve, what about you?
I think I grew up in the old generation in the 60s. And
I think you and I are pretty much the same, yes.
Yes. Well, you're younger, my brother. Yeah. I very love our very old traditional dish, which is very hard to cook. It's a stewed pork from the the head, pig, and the nose and the ear and the legs. Stew for maybe 6-7 hours and slowly reduction.
Yes.
And you just need a salt and black pepper and a lot of ginger. You cook slow, reduction. And back home, we don't have that much meat. So we use a little bit of meat for flavor, and we add lot of vegetable, lot of green mustard vegetable. And it gives you a different flavor too. So that's my favorite, I call it a steroid Hmong dish. Yeah. It's like you eat the American grilled cheese. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think I think they can identify dish. No, okay? I guarantee you, 95% of the Hmong probably go with the two dishes that you described. No, okay? So keep that in mind. All right. Okay, let's move on. So what is your favorite dish that you like to create at your restaurant? and we're running out of time, so I'm gonna need you guys to be very brief now. Okay, please, Chef. Yeah, let's start with you.
I think one of the funnest dishes that we have is, and then what I really like to do is anything on the. We have this big grill that's a firewood grill. I've been more logs to build fire now, and then baking guy any kind of guy baking from whole chickens to pork, you know, to beef to whatever. But you know, we'll take fish, we'll wrap it in banana leaves. We'll cook it on there. Anything on that grill. I love cooking off the grill, firewood grill, and that's where my dad taught me how to cook
Absolutely.
as a kid. And that's what I love.
That sounds great. I keep that in mind when I get into your town.
Yeah, come on over.
Right.
Come on
okay,
over.
Chef Genevieve, what about you? What is your favorite
Okay,
dish that you
so
like to cook?
I have a dish is made from chicken breast, and you know Chef Yia and Chef Jerry. Chicken breast is very hard to execute right because it's very fiber. There's no fat,
Yeah,
and that chicken breast, it was an accident one day, and I call it's an accident chicken breast, and I call Hmong chicken. It's a grilled chicken, but it's just like you don't need knife. You just take your fork and it just melt down. It's so tender because it was an accident cooking. Yeah, and it's a
Sounds
grilled
good.
chicken. Yes, yeah, and that's
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right. Okay. Okay. One viewer said, I want something from that grill chef. Not you, not Chef Yuna, okay? Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Do you see Hmong food evolving in the future? Chef Genevieve, let's start with you.
I think Hmong food, yes and no. Why I say yes and no? Yes, a little bit, because if we keep go out and eat outside, the new generation, I understand life is busy, but if you don't cook at home, you know, and introduce Hmong food to your kids, right?
Yeah.
Then you miss something there because they will never remember what they eat. And you want to keep generation to generation, then you have to cook at home. And you can go out, but you have to do like we're doing now, maybe 3-4 times a week. And that's important, you know, cooking at home is like Chef Yia say, you share with your family, you know, and the kids learn from the taste and see what we're doing, and they remember that taste, because we all remember what we ate when mom and dad gave us. Yeah. And that's a very important to keep your culture keep going, you know, and you have to do it. Yeah, and you have to, maybe it's time to documentary those recipe, mom and dad, how she doing, how much salt, how they doing, you know, maybe you keep those for your family recipe for that.
I agree with you, and I think we need to start early also.
Yes.
When our kids are still very, very young, and when you expose them to your food at the early age, then they become used to it. 也用嚟攞得住嚟用嚟嚟煮錯啦嗱，嚟嘅 used to 嚟嘅，可能你透唔會 call tradition 的you family. So I think that's a very good point. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Chef, yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I think that it will advance. I think that it will change, because if you look at the Hmong people, we actually, wherever we've gone in history, right? Popping up in China, Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, what we've done is we learn and glean from the cultures around us, and we take a little bit of that, and then we forge that into our own culture, huh? And being here in America, especially here in the Twin Cities, up here in the north, huh? There's a lot of different kinds of vegetables, produce that are grown here. So being able to take Hmong philosophy of food and cooking, and then using that, using the produce and product that the land up here provides for us, that's what Hmong people have done. That's what our parents done. That's what my grandparents have done. And so it will change a little bit by the produce and product will change, but the philosophy and the heart and the soul of it would always remain the same, I think. But I think the big thing is that we need to ask the question is, why do we cook? Why is it that why do we put all the food in the middle and then everybody gets a plate? And the big share in the middle now. My dad used to say this to me when we were kids, when we fight over little toys. My dad said to me, he said, when you say this is mine, you have less. But when you say this is ours, you have more. You know, think about that. We put everything in the middle. We don't make a plate. You don't make a plate for people. You sometimes we're so poor in Laos and Thailand. My mom was telling me how they would share a spoon. Everybody share one spoon.
Yes.
That is the heart and soul why Hmong people, why food is so important to us, because it reminds us that we work together as a whole, as one team works together is more important than the single.
Yeah, I think we have with all three of us, and I think our viewers will agree. Going back to the point where Chef Genevieve had there, 俾住到俾可能咯，依俾住俾人做都冇特別咁樣嘅咩，我都冇俾住 cook as a family and share that food, because that's the only way 我俾個 tradition 去做呢 ，OK？ And it really grow 住你揀睇冇住 ，and the more 俾我哋嘅嘢有一個種嘅俾到 family， so thank you for sharing that insight 做俾個 view 先做到補貼。Totally Chef, yeah, did we lose you?
Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button.
It's all right. Okay. So next question is very, very important, I think. 就我哋估播到底俾個蒙頭邊有啲咁落，俾嘢睇咪俾實在嘅，俾攞網或者俾做冇網啲啲就冇啲度咪你冇肉絲，有你冇嘢，有你亂亂นู่，有你我路 they're well off and they're like upper class people, then they could afford meat maybe on like once a week or maybe every day. But I remember as a kid, my family couldn't afford meat, you know. If we're lucky, we were able to eat meat maybe once or twice a year. Other than that, you need to right? So, do you see Hmong? How do we make Hmong food healthier? So, based on generation that how can we do that? Chef Genevieve, can you?
Thank you for the question. Yes, I think food is medicine, and that's exactly right now. You know, young generation, the more they have education, the more they know what to put in the body. And I think invest early is very important, you know. But look at what Hmong food, I think is very healthy. It's medicine right there, you know. A lot of herbs. We have a vegetable all the time, and which is a very good. That's very important. Our community, you know, have to have a plate of vegetable there. Or boiled vegetable, no seasoning for the older people, and that's a very important because the fiber is there. We eat less meat, you know. We do a lot of stir fry, and it's good. Stir fry, I think stir fry is very good because you eat meat, you eat rice, and you eat a vegetable. What we have to fix that the Hmong food to be healthy, I think we need to look at, you know, the starch, the type 2 diabetes. The Hmong people in the United States is up to 3 times more than the American people have a diabetes situation. And I think starch is the problem for that, you know, like rice flour and rice. Maybe change rice flour to brown rice flour. And I remember a long time ago when we were very poor back home, and my parents ate the corn kernel because we can afford rice, and we have to eat the corn. That's community, and that's our generation. That's belong to us to eat the corn. Replace the rice because we were so poor. We don't have enough rice, you know. So that's a healthy way to go back to the old generation. Yeah, we have everything there already. We just need to modify a little bit the starch and the sweet have to be a little bit, you know, enjoy a little bit less, and change a little bit the white rice to the brown rice. You can eat the white rice, but maybe portion control, maybe 1 cup a day. That's all. I can do that. I have to eat rice every day.
Okay.
But try, you know. Yeah, try to be like that. And sodium is important because we all have high blood pressure. So less sodium, less
Yeah.
sugar, more vegetable is good for you. Fried food, everybody love fried food there. And our people love fried food. I love fried food. I still eat fried food. I love French fries. But I think it's nice to invest to the new technology, cooking like air fry. It's beautiful. You can fry your meat in the air fry without oil, and it's got the same texture, and you can enjoy. And you don't have to worry about put a couple of people. I think that there's a small thing like that. If we look at, I think we can do. We can have a better life, for our community, especially
Yes.
older people. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
correct.
invest a
Yeah.
little bit early, I think is good, but the food is too good. I don't know. My experience right now.
You see, can you both Chef Genevieve? It's easier said than done, okay?
It's easy, but it's not. It's not easy. But when you catch the disease, that nobody tell you what to do. You have to do, or you're gonna suffer. And just
Yeah, that's
remember,
right,
when you
correct.
catch, the type 2 diabetes, it's very hard to come back a normal
Yeah,
person, be a
very
normal
true.
person. Yes.
And all of us been to like funerals, right? Or to weddings or to gatherings, family gatherings. The most of the food we pick on, what we see on the table, like sausages. I mean, stuff that are pretty fatty.
But they're
And
good.
many
It's
of us
good.
don't
Yeah.
just go one time. We go the second round, 天然不能有ที่ right? So you're right. With portion control I think that's the key right there. Yes.
You can eat everything but portion control. Maybe one cup of the
correct.
rice one day, you're good to go. Yeah. So allergen is very important, and when you get allergy, you keep eating the same food, and you don't know. So you have to make sure what food you're allergic to, because when you catch allergen, it's for life too. You have to take. You have
That's
to be
true.
careful. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your insight. Okay, thank you, Chef. Yeah, what about you? ก็สายจะไปอยู่บริจาคไปจะ
I think one of the big things is, sorry, Jared. Yeah, I think one of the big things is convenience, right? So we trade, like Hmong food is, I mean, like before Hmong food, like even just watching what my mom and dad eats and what they're pulling from their garden. It's an everyday thing, right? It's a lifestyle. You buy what you work, you work really hard. That you get your cardio in that way. It's and then you bring it home and then come home, and it takes like an hour and a half to prep the food and everything. So it takes time, everything time. I think that we traded that for convenience. And when you talk about food and convenience, that means there's a lot of preservative, there's a lot of different things they put in there, so it's fast. So it's quick because it's like, oh, we're so busy doing all these things, and so I think that one of the things where I think a lot of people are saying, hey, we want to take time to spend with our family, we want to take time to spend, to be with each other. It's like, yeah, then you have to take your time to cook, and to cook natural foods like this takes time. You can't just open bags and put it in a microwave, or you can't open bags and put it in the oven. It takes time, and so it's like simple steps from, hey, if you're going to look at produce, like let's look at fresh produce. What does that look like? What does it look like to make like do it from the start, and getting the right kinds of pork. Like why are we using this kind of pork? And a lot of that time it's going to be a little bit more expensive, right? Because it's a different kind of protein. It's curated well, it's sourced well. So these are the questions we have to ask ourselves. That like a lot of times, I'll be real honest, like Hmong people, and I see myself doing this too, is you want to make shortcuts. And when you make shortcuts, that's when unhealthy habit starts,
That's right.
And I'm not saying that as somebody who's judging on people. Like I struggle with that too, so.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, taking shortcut, right? Yeah, and I do it sometimes, trust. Yeah, and that's bad. You're right. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing your insight. Okay. Hopefully, view and when they listen, they take some of these suggestions or they more to the heart and really practice it. It's one thing to listen; it's another thing to really live it and practice it. So, 古巴的这些的那都拿了，国内叫么 incorporate 在那路那天，这里把到那天。Okay, next question, my very interesting now. Okay, เนี่ยมึงรู้นะกูสานนูเนี่ยให้เดีย What would you want to have as your last meal? Chef, yeah, let's start with you.
Oh man, that's tough. I would say gunya for gold here new I mean, if it's my last meal, man, a big bucket of her nava. For gold and nava.
Yeah. For gold, right?
Yeah, that's from my mom though. Like I don't know how mom does it. She has a certain way of doing it, and that's my jam right there.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing. Chef Genevieve, go ahead.
I think I very like Hmong sausage, which is it's a comfort food. And the way I went to Minnesota, I saw Hmong community, they create like stuffing, noodles in a sausage. But I think Chef, you should create something like pupo sticky rice stuffing with sausage inside.
We're working on that, Chef. We're working on that.
And that can be a walking Hmong hot dog.
Yeah, we're working on something like that right now.
So that's interesting. And the color, doesn't point, right? And the meat is inside, and it's easy to eat, you can drive in a car. You can just eat. I think that's something very unique, Chef. Yeah, you need to look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on that. So.
Well, my last meal, let me share you with this. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That would be my last meal. All right. Okay, let's move on. Okay, folks. Our time is almost up. So if you feel like you need to if you have any questions for our chefs, now is the time to pose your question. Okay. And very much I'll respond. We'll do our best to respond as many questions as we can. Okay. So next question is, obviously, your chef or your chef, without some sort of tool that we use in the kitchen, it's impossible to cook. So my question to you is this: what is your favorite kitchen equipment or gadget, and why? Chef Genevieve.
I think my favorite tool is that pan, a good pan.
Oh, okay.
Not necessary to be non-stick, but a good quality pan is expensive, but it's easy for you to cook a steak or you cook like a fish. It's very hard to cook fish.
Yes.
Yeah, a quality. This is non-stick, something a good quality that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And the gadget, I think I really like to have a little small blender, not blender, but processor, small one, which is they have a little one from a company. They have a little one you can move around and be out of. It's a cordless. Yes. It's a small thing like that that's easy for you. You don't need something you have to, or you don't on a table. You have to find a plug. You don't have plug, so it's very easy to use it. Yeah. So that tool is from KitchenAid. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Chef? Yeah.
Done knife. I need it like knife. Yeah, my knife that I have. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think me too. With me as a sushi chef. And I mean, I cut a lot of sushi. I prep a lot of sushi rolls. I prep a lot of sashimi, stuff like that, raw fish. So having a sharp knife, not the big knife, the smaller ones, I think that's makes my job a lot easier. So, all right, okay. Next question. So now, in regards to Hmong food, if you have one wish, what would it be?
Explain one wish for what?
有的你三個一做健保說wish 就比較豐富呢，你三個比較豐富呢，冇多容易揀啊 你做健保說真的有豐富呢，你三個有我哋揀。
For me personally, I wish that I could have, for Hmong food, I can have those conversations with some of the elders and that have passed away, and learn and have a conversation with them and learn some of the old techniques. Because everything that I know from mom now comes from my mom and dad and what they learned when they were a kid, and as they came through the refugee camp and everything. But I want to have a wider span of learning from different techniques, from the olden, kind of from the Laona, the elders, and what they did and how they did it and why they did it a certain way they did it. Because I think that's very important to remember those some of those older techniques.
So learning the techniques, and what would you do with that? Well, once you learn those techniques, what would you do with that?
I would use it. Yeah, I would definitely use those techniques, but then I want people to know why. Like, I'm one of those guys who, like, when I cook, I always ask myself why. Like, why are we doing it this way? Like, why does this happen? And then being able to put food science into that, talk about like sokunya or jokona. Like, my mom would explain to me that when they were kids, they would save the water from washing the rice, and they use the water from the rice. They use that rice water for the jokol, and they figured out that, oh man, this makes the jokol, like, it has more of a snap to it. But then from a food science standpoint, the sugar starch in that water actually activates the fermentation process of why the jokol kakakana. And I explained that to her. I'm like, did you guys know that you guys were like, when you were doing that, it was fermentation. That's what you guys were doing. And she's like, oh yeah, I don't know, babe. That's why we used it, And so being able to see that way of, oh, you guys just did this, but you actually were doing what you're doing was food science,
Yeah. All right. Chef Genevieve, go ahead.
I think that question is very important for our Hmong community. To preserve our culture, I think it's important for us to expose more to outsider, to other diversify, because you have to think about diversify. It's help us to tell the story who we are, and without spend money to hire a PR or marketing, or you have to work very hard for that. They spread the word for us, and we have to we have to share our story, our food to those people, keep doing that. And the young generation these days, I would like for them to go out there, challenge themselves in a national level, like a Food Network, which is 2008. I went there, and I went there for challenging, like a title, like a Crash Out of Drama. You have to go there, and I wasn't thinking about get $20,000 back, but I say I just go there and challenge myself, be more confident about yourself, and it was fun for me to go there. Because everybody see you, and you have to relax, and that's how people judge you. Are you relaxed? Are you stressed for just this 15 or 20 minutes to cook the pizza? So the meditation is there, and all chef, if you go there, you come back and nothing stops you. Nothing stops you. Every challenge competition, you can go and you don't have to worry, because you learn something, you make a mistake. We have to create a pizza, and we have to cook a pizza in the waffle. That stress you already for a couple seconds, right? You're not allowed to cook your pizza. Just use the home of waffle. Yeah, and things like that, and then you come back and you be a better, solution for what you cook, and preparation for that. But and why not create something new belong to Hmong food?
That's
right. It's
I
still.
like how you said it. I like how you put
Yeah.
it. I think one thing is that we challenge ourselves so that we can grow even more. But more important is we expose our culture, our love of food, our style of food, and our passion for Hmong food, and we use the opportunity to share with other people, and not only our food but our culture at the same time. So Thank you for sharing that. Okay. All right.
And also one last word.
Uh-huh.
Don't be shy to say you a Hmong. If you
That's
own
right. Yeah.
if you own a Thai restaurant or Chinese or Japanese, you have to say you a Hmong chef, you know.
Mm.
And for my 25 years, I was so scary to be say I'm a Hmong chef because I own a Thai restaurant.
Me
Not,
too.
I was
I
so
said,
scary because number one, I thought maybe people don't want to support me because I'm not Thai. I'm not from Thailand, like a Thai, real Thai. But that's a mistake because you're the best chef and you make Thai food. That means you good, you know.
yeah, we're in the same boat, Chef
Hey,
Genevieve.
I don't
I
want to
own a
interrupt.
sushi
I have.
restaurant, and okay, I
Oh,
own a
sorry,
sushi
I don't want
restaurant,
to
and
interrupt.
many.
I have a meeting in 15 minutes, so I have to get off real quick right
Oh,
here.
you have to get off.
But yeah, you
Okay.
guys continue. But I have
No,
a
no, no.
meeting.
I have to ask you one last question before you go.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's go down to our last question. If you could prepare a Hmong dish or meal for anyone, who would that person be, and what would you make? Chef, yeah, I know you have to go. So why don't you start?
I have this in high school. I had this really incredible football coach, and he's also one of my teachers, and he was one of those guys that always believed in me. Coach Miller, and he always believed in me no matter what. Like, and it was a struggle for me to figure out some like grades and stuff, but he always stuck by me. And we were living in a very small town in Wisconsin, and before I graduated, like my senior year, he came up to me and he said, "Yeah," because a lot of people in that town, when they graduate, they just like live in the town, which is okay, whatever, But he told me, he goes, when you get done with school, I want you to leave this town and never look back, because he goes, I believe that big things are going to happen for you that that you need to leave. And he always believed in me, and I haven't seen him in like 15, 20 years. And this summer, he just surprised me up here in the restaurant. And he just like showed up, him and his wife. And we talked a little bit and emailed a little bit while I was in college, but he just showed up. And so Coach Miller, and him and his wife, man, I would just sit there and I just put out the full meal for them, I'd be like, Mont Blanc, everything. And it's for him, because he really inspired me. Like, he just said, hey, I want you to leave this town. I don't want you to ever look back on this town. I don't want you to come back here. And he would say, I would be very, like, in a joking way, he's like, I would be very mad if I saw you back here. And that's what, when I left this small town in central Wisconsin, I just said, I'm not coming back. And not in a mean way, not in a disrespectful way, but in a way of like, like there's one, like that one teacher, the one football coach who believed in me and says, when you leave here, I want you to dream bigger than this town. And so for him, like, he was one of the big inspirations for me. So
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
How much time do you have? You have to go right now?
Yeah, I have a meeting in like 12 minutes, so I have to drive out.
You said 12 minutes. So why don't you answer the next question, and then you can leave, and I go back to Chef Genevieve.
Okay.
And she'll respond those two questions, okay?
Okay.
Last and final question, Hadia. Do you have any final words for those who still want to continue the tradition of Hmong food alive?
Yeah, like I always say, I feel like a broken record saying this, but get to know your parents, your grandparents, and your elders, because that's going to help you figure out why. Like, my biggest thing is, like, we can make all this Hmong food, and we've been very blessed to have the media coverage, the national coverage. We've been very blessed to be on different shows, and different people come in and win awards and stuff. All that stuff doesn't matter to me. What matters is people understanding and knowing why we're doing this. And my why, I tell people, is this: my parents. Because when you realize that somebody has given up their life so that you can have life, it changes the way you talk to people. It changes the way you care about people. And then for me, it changes the way I cook. And so for young people who say, hey, I want to cook Hmong food, I say, sit down and be learners. Shut up. Don't talk. Sit down and ask your mom and dad, your grandma and grandpa, your aunties and uncles, sit down with them and learn about their life and their sacrifice. And that is then going to make sense. Because when you start cooking, you're cooking not your food, you're cooking their food. And you become a vessel. Because these young people, not young people, you guys know the language, you guys know the culture, you guys know all this. Now you get to be that bridge between Hmong people and the Mikau world here. And you get to tell that story, man. And so it's very important that you, like I said, don't think you know everything. Sit down, shut up, listen to them, because their story will help pave a path for where your trajectory will go. I always say, know your past to know where you are in your present, to show you where your future is.
Thank you so much for your insight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Listen,
Thanks a lot, guys. I'm so sorry I have to
no,
leave.
it's okay. Hey, listen, we're very honored to have you tonight, Chef Ye. And if and whenever I am in Minnesota, I would definitely visit you. If you happen to be in Fresno, stop by Shobu Japanese Cuisine.
Definitely.
Okay, bro?
Same thing.
All right.
Chef
Wonderful
Genevieve,
honor to
you
have
guys
you.
come here. Let me know, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, bye. Okay, Chef Genevieve, I guess it's just you and me now. So
Yes.
going back to my previous question, if you could prepare a Hmong dish or a meal for anyone, who would that person be, and what dish would you make?
You know, if I have the chance to cook again, then that will be the vice president from Thailand. Because couple years back, a Ford Motor Company asked me to be consulting for a dinner with the vice president from Thailand, and it was beautiful. And I was nervous because he's a man, and I wasn't sure if he liked the food or how he, think about my cooking and myself. So, but for the end of dinner, they introduced me to the vice president, and he's a very very nice, humble Asian, not just like a normal Thai guy, but he's more Americanized. And I was so impressed about the way he respect me, and I just told him I'm not Thai, I'm a Hmong. And he was shocked to hear like a Hmong can make this beautiful dinner with all the carving, and the food is beautiful. And it's just keep coming, and I keep doing, a couple times dinner for him. And I think if I have the chance to do it, I will do. And my dish will be our squirrel stew.
Squirrels, right?
Yeah, we have a squirrel stew. It must blow his mind away the way we cook, because it's much better than Thai cooking. The squirrel, right? You have to know how to cook a squirrel, and you use beer to cook, and again reduction. Make a slow cooking. Use all the herbs and spices and rice. Yes.
I would love to try that dish.
Oh my God, Jerry! I thought you know that dish. But you probably know there's another dish I really like. Is the Canh Blong too. That's my favorite fish.
Okay.
Favorite dish. But we can now. Yes.
Maybe I am not supposed to do this, but on behalf of His Excellency, Mr. Vice President of Thailand, Khop Khun Krap.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for sharing that. Wow. What an honor you had.
It was an honor. So my job is just serving those group, a very high skill group, private, and I always cater only for the people like a lawyer, a doctor, or politician. A lot of politicians too. I'm not a politician, but the city where I am is very important. You are entrepreneur and you're very successful, right? But you don't have the connection with the city. Those politicians, then you need to go that route too, because they the one can help your business grow faster. Voice, send a message to the community, say you're a good person, and be a woman is not easy, but I have to sell myself to get through there. I have to be volunteer to cook for them, and when I cook, it's a feast. And same thing for the movie in Gran Torino. Clint Eastwood asked me to cater a small dinner for 140 people. And when I load the food there, he said, take the food to the movie, everything changed. Why? Because my opportunity is there, right? If I show my skill now, it's never happened. So I have to do my best to impress that person, and if I have a chance. So he gave me a
Well,
chance.
You're
Yes.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
And you said it. You said it very well. Sometimes we call opportunities, and once the opportunity pass, we may never have it again.
You never have.
So you
Yeah.
had that one shot to make an impression, and I believe you did. So
Yeah,
thank you for
but it's
sharing
not
your
easy. Yeah.
experience, your insight. Wow, you are inspiration to many. Chef Genevieve, thank you.
Thank you.
我中到.
Good
So
job.
final question, don't go now, okay?
Mhm.
And I know you have some very important insight เลยก็ขอ opinion ก็ขอ view อุตสาหกรรมก็係我啲仲係 carefully 係咗俾咗 young people, especially young people 係啲啊ก็ผม冇一個 final words. You have any final words to those that 來撒 continue called tradition of Hmong food และสากของ Hmong food stay alive for many generations to come? What would you say to them?
I think it's important too for the young generation, Hmong generation, to be proud who you are. You know, happy you are Hmong. You know, feel free and don't hide it. Don't shy. You in this country is free. You have the opportunity. Just use it, and then love your community. You know, support your community.
That's right. Thank you so much. Now, going back to what you said earlier, I own a Japanese cuisine, and sometimes even Japanese, Korean people, they think automatically because you own Japanese cuisine, then you in your Japanese, right? But then going to your point, do not be embarrassed to tell who you are, what race you are. So sometimes they got your Hmong or like shock and you said, wow, we never thought that a Hmong man, could become an owner of a Japanese cuisine. So that very moment, Otoku feel very, very proud to be Hmong, to be a representative, wow, we represent Hmong. So thank you for confirming. Okay.
So I think come back to that question. I think Jerry, you have to remember to open a restaurant is not easy. You have to have a financial, support your business, and not many people can do like you're doing. You do it, you survive because you have the financial and you're smart, you intelligent, you make that place alive. So you should be proud. You should be big multi-cultural celebration, but I think it's important for us to celebration for each time we do something good.
Yeah, each very small success.
Yeah, we have to say we have to be more Americanized. Appreciate what we have done. Happy what we have, because there's not many people can do like you, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and don't be shy.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we have some viewers that like Martha Diaz want to thank you, and she said it's such an honor to hear your words. Long the go here, but I'm waiting to inside who my see channel idea. What inspired God? What inspired God? Way to chef with cooking.
I think that's a very good question because we don't have that question. But what is inspiring me? It's grow up in France. Life never had been like here. We not allowed to have a true job, right? I never finished a school. I keep doing things, this and that, work in a company like a fish company to fabric to cleaning, everything. And I took my time and I did a great job. And I come to United States and I say, oh my God, this country is so, it's different than France. The opportunity is endless. That's the American dream. Everything's possible. If you want to do it, you can do it. But again, inspire me. Early open the first restaurant is not inspiration. It's about it's about survival. To get to stay here. The
Especially
immigration.
the first couple of years, right?
Yeah,
The
we have
first
to.
2 years, most
The
difficult.
government have to deport us because we are French. We carry French passport, and they lost our paperwork, and they have to send us back to France. So the struggle, live in a limbo for over 30 years. And then there's no expression, but you only got two things: yes or no. If you say yes, you choose. If you choose no, Jerry, why you come this country, right?
Yes.
It's better you go back. So I choose yes, and the yes that say if I choose yes, I put all my soul and energy, to build this business, and let's see how it goes. So it take me a long time, to get to that point. Yes.
Yeah. Listen, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, your insight, your passion, share topic. We are blessed to hear from you and Xavier. We wish you the best. And if and whenever you are in California, would love to have you in my restaurant, and we'll dine together. We'll try out my sushi together. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, có nhiệt cái tiếng chào mong sẽ đợi thì nó thông cảm đủ nói cho lo cho bé công cho mà nó 我做到你老師好正經，我哋兩在俾講啲話啲嘅些啲call dialogue 俾我們the dialogue that we had tonight. Hope that you will take home something that you as you heard from Chef Ye and Chef Genevieve, that you'll be able to gather something and remember that and use it in your life. So 我做到你老師好正經啦，誒，你就冇時候特別問大家先知道啊。Thank you so much, Chef Genevieve. So
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to turn back with Jennifer now, okay?
Hey, thank you so much. Chef Genevieve and Chef Jerry, really appreciate you guys spending the time and just talking about, food and also your background. I mean, I jotted down a few things. It's like start early with your kids if you want to carry on the Hmong tradition of food. Even also, start changing the way you eat to adjust to, certain chronic conditions that are really prevalent in our community, like diabetes, right? So eat healthy, learn to use alternate foods, like, for example, brown rice. And then also we have, we got to keep our culture through food. And we've got to keep sharing our food with different communities and audiences, as well as also, be proud that you are Hmong. So those are really valuable lessons that we're going to really take on for the rest of our lives. I mean, I learned so much. It was so rich. So I just really appreciate you two for you two and also Chef Ye for coming on. You guys did such a wonderful job. And also apologies to our audience. I know you guys had so many questions in the comments, but we had such short little time, so we weren't able to answer all your questions. Hopefully Chef Jerry and also Chef Ye and Chef Genevieve can go back to our comments and answer your question too. If you guys really do want the question to be answered, email us and then we'll forward it over to our chefs too, okay? So thank you so much, everybody. Also, tonight, I know that there were some folks out there that have been sharing and also have been tagging friends. So thank you so much. We'll make sure that you guys receive your prize. Make sure that you fill out the contact form that our assistant Sia has posted all throughout the comments. So go back, look for it, and click on the Google form and put your contact information, and we'll make sure we'll get to you right away. So thank you so much to all of our supporters. And also tonight, we're gonna do a raffle at the end of our show too. We're going to be giving away 50 pounds of rice bags. So for those who have been waiting long and staying with us, please participate, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to ask, let's look, let me do a spin wheel and we can show some names. Okay, let me just do this real quick. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna share my screen with you all. And then we're going to be putting names in, okay? So let's see, right here. All right, so if you guys can see my screen now, we're going to be putting some names in. Let me say okay here. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put some names in. So I'm gonna look to see if you are on right now, please put your name in the comments. So then that way we can add you to it, okay? And if you do put your name on the comments, feel free to also, put your contact into the contact form, okay? So let's see who put their name in there already. Let's see. Put your name, your full name, because sometimes, you know, your Facebook name may be different from what's your real legal name. So that way we can put you on here. Monica Sanchez. Okay, Lillian. Monica Sanchez. Okay, Lillian. Let's see, Lillian. Okay, I think Lillian, you'll know that that's you. And then we're going to put Ashley Lee. All right, this is for 1 bag of 50 pounds of rice. So if you guys, let's see, if you guys live in Merced, you're going to be picking it up at our Save, Smart and Save. There you go, Smart and Save. All right, so let's see. And let's see, if you're not in Merced, then please give your gift to somebody who can pick it up, or they can pick it up for you. We can't really ship to like a 50-pound bag of rice to you. So make sure that, you're from Merced, or you know someone who's from Merced for this gift, okay? All right, okay, I'm gonna stop it now since we've got a couple of names. So hold on, let me just, I'm really slow at this because I got to look at all these comments real quick. Let's see. Where did it stop? There was too many comments. Okay, I'm just going to start from the bottom, okay? So after, so Sandra is the last one that we're going to put in here, okay? Sandra. And don't worry, I'm starting from the bottom because all the comments have just continued to move up. So, okay. All right, so just remember, this is going to be in Merced at the groceries, at the Hmong store, the Smart and Save. And we will be contacting you. Let's see, we've got Martha Diaz. Okay, let me just put Martha Diaz. Okay, all right, let me just look up again. Okay, let me see. All right, we've got, let's see, Cat Her, she's there too. So bear with me, everybody. Sandra is the last person. I'm just going above her, moving forward. Okay, yes, Lillian Sanchez. Let me put that in there. I'm sorry if I spelled some of your guys' name wrong. It's I can't really type fast, so you'll know it's you. Let's see. All right, Lillian is 2 L's. Hold on, let me just fix that. I'm not a perfectionist. Okay, let's see who else. Who was above? All right, did I get Martha? Oh, Pachua. Pachua. Okay, didn't Pachua. Oh, Pauchua. Okay, hold on. Let me spell that correctly. Let's see. Pauchua. Okay. All right, make sure if you guys are from the Merced location and you know someone's in Merced, this is for Merced folks. Let's see, I think, did I put Pakuli? I didn't do that. Pakuli. I hope I spelled that correctly. Yep, I did. All right, let's see. Vang. Did I put Vang in there? Nope, not yet. Okay, I think my last one. Okay, I've got Ashley Lee. I've got Lillian Sanchez, Monica Sanchez. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, I think we're good. So after this, I'm going to spin this now. So let's spin this. So again, this is for Merced, California pickup at the Hmong store, and we'll email you everything. Make sure you provide your contact information in a contact sheet. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start spinning now. I'm going to click. Yay! Let's see. All right, so the winner is Cat Her. Woo! Awesome. Okay. All right, we got one more back, so we are going to be spinning this again. So cross your fingers. All right, make sure you fill up that form. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So if you fill out that contact form, we'll make sure we'll get this information to you. Again, this is for Merced. City pickup for rice bag. We cannot ship the bag to you. It's going to be too heavy. Okay. Let's see. And if you know someone in Merced, please have them pick it up or so. Let's see. All right. Okay. All right. We're going to do one more. Okay. Are you ready? I'm going to spin again. I think you just click here again. Ooh, all right. We've got a My Thor. Yay. Good job. Let's see. All right. Did I get everything? Yes. Please. Yes. Sia, our assistant, will be sharing the contact sheet again. Let's see. Oh, Say, I'm so sorry. I said sorry. Say. I did say that Sandra was going to be our last person, so apologies. We didn't add you in. We were waiting too long, so that's why. So hopefully you can join us again or next time, okay? Thank you so much. Apologies, everybody who came after Sandra. We stopped it at there. So next time, hopefully we'll catch you again, okay? Let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about our next virtual event. And let me just unshare my screen. Okay, we're going to be talking about our next virtual event. It's going to be about finances. So if you guys have been struggling with finances or want to get some tips on how to build financial wealth or to, live a financially free life, we're going to be finding some Hmong experts in this area to really nourish and support our community members so that they can live a life that's, full, and also, ensure that you guys, have your future set up too. So please come support us again. It'll be in 2 Fridays from now. And yeah, we can't wait. Make sure you fill out your information again. And also just wanted to say thank you to all our viewers. Thank you for making it this far. You guys all have a good night. Bye. Thank you.